Hello and welcome back to MCW. We are back today for Championship Showdown, where we will be crowning our first ever MCW Champions. As you can see here, we've got a new little logo. This is a one-time show, MCW Championship Showdown. We may bring it back as a little special every now and then if we want to have lots of championship matches on in one night. We have tried a little something. I don't know if this is going to pay off, but we've spent a bit of extra money on a special set and also a local band. So let's see what happens, and let's see who is going to be the first MCW champions. Leave a comment down below for me predicting your first MCW men's champion between Lionheart and Rampage Brown, our first ever women's champion between Brittany Knight and Saraya Knight, and also we have brought in the UEWA European Heavyweight title because it's currently vacated, so why not have a match for that? And it is going to be between the runners-up of each bracket, Chris Brooks and Dave Mastiff. Leave a comment down below giving me your predictions for all three of the winners of these matches, and let's jump in. And we open the show in front of 99 people, which is absolutely devastating. I really wanted to get that 100 people for our first champions being crowned, but it is what it is. Yeah, we can deal with that. And we start the show with a bout that had good wrestling but not much heat. Becky James defeating Erin Angel, which is just a little something for us to open the show, get them off to a hot start, and hopefully encourage the rest of the show to be as good. And 38 rating, pretty good for these two, considering they're not very popular on the roster at the moment. I can't actually go in and view them at the moment, but I know that they're two of our most unpopular stars at the moment, but I do have things planned for them. And next up, we have I forget what it is, the UEWA Championship match. Dave Mastiff versus Chris Brooks. And in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Chris Brooks defeats Dave Mastiff by pinfall with a Yakuza kick to win the UEWA European Heavyweight title. So a bit of representation for MCW in the Alliance now. And hopefully that might help Chris Brooks up his popularity, and I don't know if it really has any effect, but ideally it can bring some extra eyes to MCW. And next up is going to be the men's championship being crowned. We have got the women main eventing today, just because I thought, well, if we've got the Knight family in charge of the company, realistically they're going to want to main event the first show with champions being crowned, aren't they? So, men's championship up next. And in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Lionheart defeats Rampage Brown in 15-10 by pinfall with a heart stopper to become the first ever MCW men's champion and crowns himself. 44 rating, pretty good for us again there. And Rampage Brown with a 35, Lionheart with a 46, gets the crowd buzzing. And for once, Lionheart is not going to be attacked by Dave Mastiff. Instead, he is just congratulated by Ricky Knight on becoming the first men's champion. And you know what that means now. It's time for our main event. Saraya versus Brittany. Who will win the first MCW Women's Championship? And in a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, Brittany Knight defeats Saraya by pinfall with a nightlight after being turned on. So Brittany Knight actually using like brass knuckles, we'll say, while the referee's back's turned, hits her mother with the brass knuckles, hits a nightlight, pins her, first ever MCW Women's Champion, Brittany Knight. And that gets us a 34 rating in that match. Brittany with a 25, Saraya with a 39. I'm hoping with changing Brittany back to a heel, which she prefers to be, I'm hoping that may also improve her matches and her in-ring performance. And after the match, she celebrates over Saraya, holding up the MCW Women's Championship on the ropes. Our first two champions, Brittany and Lionheart. So what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll tell Chris Brooks, Lionheart and Brittany that they are being complimented on a good performance. We'll say great performance for Lionheart, because there are 3 champions that have been crowned. And let's jump into our next show and see what happens after this. And next we jump into MCW Midlands Massive in front of 110 people. What a jump. Would have been nice to have that for our last show, but nevertheless. We opened the show in a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Holly Blossom defeats Saraya Knight in 9:24 by submission after interference from Hannah Blossom. So, as you can see from the notes underneath, the gimmick here is Twin Evil and Twin Magic. So, essentially, similar to what the Bella Twins did early in the 2010s or late 2000s. Holly's a little bit beaten up, rolls under the ring. Hannah comes out, locks Saraya into a submission because she's fresh, and picks up the win at 42, although the gimmick's not doing great, which isn't so good. But a nice start to the show, nevertheless. And after that, Blossom is celebrating while Saraya is shocked to have lost. So at the moment, as far as the crowd's concerned, they don't know that these are twins. And following that, we have Zach Knight in a decent match defeating Chris Brooks in 8:54 while using the ropes for leverage to win the UEWA European Heavyweight title. So Zach Knight stealing the title from Chris Brooks only 2 days after, which definitely wasn't an accident. And all of a sudden, Chris Brooks is left without a title. Not what he was expecting in his first defense, but it is what it is, a 25 rating. But after the match, Roy comes out and confronts Zach over the fact that he's cheated to win again, and they end up having a fight through to the back. And next up we go back to the women's division with Brittany Knight saying, as MCW Women's Champion, she wants to make it clear she will do anything it takes to remain champion forever. Obviously cheating to win in the title winning match, and now she's going to do whatever it takes. However, I don't plan for her to have to cheat all the time, but when she needs to, she's not afraid to. And following that, in a bout that had decent wrestling and not much heat, Becky James defeats Jenny Shodin in 7:20 by submission. Becky James with an in-ring performance of 28. And another win on the books for her. So could she be getting herself in line for a title shot at Brittany, perhaps? After that, Eden Black makes her debut, attacking Becky James following her win. And Eden Black getting a rating of great for her gimmick. 26 rating for the match. So pretty decent match there for us. And a alright segment after Eden Black making her debut. And it'll be interesting to see what she does now that she's in MCW. And next up, we have Lionheart coming out saying, as your MCW champion, I'm going to open my title reign by issuing an open challenge. And who else but Pac accepts? This is partly because, by accident, I had to move Midlands Mayhem to the Sunday so that I could put Championship Showdown. I forgot to then fix it, which means this match is happening 2 days after the Championship Showdown rather than our usual 2 weeks. I will fix that for next episode. However, it means Pac's free. So, after being replaced by Rampage Brown, he's coming back saying, well, if I'd been in that final, I would have won it. So they're going to have a match for the title. And oh my goodness, a 59 rating. That's fantastic for us in a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat. Lionheart defeats Pac in 14 minutes 50 with a Heartstopper. Defense number 1 of the MCW Championship title. What a first defense, and what a main event for us to have there. And that is going to be the end of the show. We get a 47 rating in that. So we're going to go through and we'll tell Zach Knight that he put on a good performance. We'll tell Becky James, give her some encouragement, and we'll say to Pac, a great performance, because it's fair to say he has had a great performance there. So we have our first ever champions. If we have a quick look at the prestige, instantly the men's championship has gone up 1 prestige. The women's championship hasn't. However, I think we've got 2 brilliant first champions for us to move forward with, and hopefully for them a long title reign will be on its way, but we'll have to see what happens for both of them. Hopefully neither of them get nicked by WWE or anything like that. Size-wise, just a quick update, we are on 16 now, so one more show that increases our popularity, and we will be tiny. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Let me know what you think of those first champions. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and thank you very much for watching.